All right, guys. Welcome back to the Lever and Better Wetter podcast, the #1 podcast for female pleasure and for men who want to be unforgettable inside and outside the bedroom. Now, we have a special guest in the studio here with us in Santa Ana right now. We have the love mentor herself. She's been on a hiatus lately, and she said that my message found her right when she was ready to actually, basically get in front of the camera again and start helping others. And if you want to tell people about yourself a little bit for the viewers that don't know.
Sure. Okay. Hi, everybody. It's nice to be back. Feels like it's been forever, even though it's only been, I think, 1.5, 2 years since I've been on camera doing podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of long.
Well, I mean, it takes some time to get pregnant and do the whole pregnancy thing and then give birth and be a mom to a newborn baby and deal with some healing stuff I had to do. So,
Understandable.
But in the long scope of things, it's really not that long. But I have been a coach for almost 2 decades. I'm aging myself.
Okay.
We don't say my age.
No, we don't say that. Limitless, timeless soul.
I've been 29 for a while. That's all I say. But yeah, a couple decades I've been a coach. I started out as a life coach, then became certified as a life coach. And then I niched into what I feel is a more difficult topic, which is
love
and relationships and
100%.
Dating and what you want to focus on today, which is sex.
Well, no, that's not what I want to focus on. It's just, it's not a limit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying, because better and wetter, right?
Right. Well, yeah. It sounds like your viewers want to talk about sex, so we can go there.
I mean, it's both. It's both. They're both connected, right?
Yeah.
If you want to find love, sex is involved. It's a part of it, right? If you don't have sexual chemistry with somebody, do you feel like you could still have, a loving relationship where you're in love with them for the rest of your life?
So if we're talking about a romantic partner, then yes. But there are other forms of love.
Yeah. No, yeah, romantic.
Yeah. So romantic, then yes, sex is part of it.
It's important. So you don't need it elsewhere, right?
Especially for men. I will definitely.
Especially for men.
And that's because they are expected to perform?
Well, no, especially for men, because men have higher testosterone, so they have a higher sex drive. So they just want to have sex more than women do.
See, this is where it could be debatable. Some women out here are horny as fuck.
So, okay. And this will be interesting to talk about because I feel like it's in stages for women, and it's also cyclical for women. There's monthly cycles that we have. There's yearly cycles that we have. There's decade cycles that we have. And there's also moments in which women feel like that's what men want. So they're putting on a show which isn't really true.
Okay.
So they may act like they're hornier than they actually are to just get a guy or to get a guy
for
interested.
that comfort, security, whatever it is that they need.
Yeah. But overall, men have 30% more testosterone. Therefore, what that means is on a biological landscape, you guys just want more sex. You need more sex. Hormonally speaking, women just don't need sex. And especially cyclically speaking too, like, for example, when we're on our period, the last thing that we're thinking about 99.9% of the time is sex. That's the last thing.
I heard it's more pleasurable though for women during your actual period.
Who says this stuff?
Listen, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I feel like women that are trying to get attention, like, okay, so
not from girls. I mean, like actual like facts, like online type, like studies. I've seen it. There's more. It's more pleasurable during a period.
So, I completely disagree. However, if girls can't get wet when they're not on their period, then yeah, I could see that. But if they can actually get wet, and even girls that can squirt, then being on your period is like,
By the way,
it's just messy.
I feel like every girl can squirt. It's if the guy knows what he's doing, he can squirt her. I've never not been able to squirt a girl, so I haven't come across that yet. So it is what it is on that. But Yeah, of course, when a girl's ovulating, like she can be more horny, and I feel like she gets
100%.
more wet, like obviously like the cervical fluid and shit like that. But
Yes.
no, but so I've done semen retention for 8 months one time.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so in that period of time, I didn't need sex. I didn't need it, but I did have it, and I would have like 5-hour tantra sessions, and it was just a good time. It was just a good time.
Was she sore?
Probably, yeah, but that's good. That's how I want her. You know what I mean? So she's good.
That doesn't sound fun to me.
Well, you know, most of the time she was asking for it, so I was just obliging at that point.
Okay.
But this does not need to all be about sex. It just is. It does have to do with love. And we, you know, can't leave sex out of that. And I think that a lot of men these days are having trouble finding love because they leave out the sexual importance. Like the guy we were talking about earlier, Myron Gaines, who put out the book Women Deserve Less. He literally, so there's probably a chapter in the book that literally says that the female orgasm does not matter. It has like no point in conception or anything. And honestly, even that's wrong biologically, because a female orgasm actually helps her get pregnant. It literally like actually helps her get pregnant. But other than that, like, how are you actually going to make a girl like love you if you don't care about her pleasure? I don't understand that. It's kind of backwards to me.
So it sounds like I have not heard of this before. You brought it up.
Fresh and Fit podcast. You've never heard of them?
Never heard of them.
Wow. That's cool. That's good for you.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
And I think I know why. Because it sounds like 10-year-old boys that got hurt by their first crush and have hated women ever since.
Yeah,
And-
something like that.
And they're stunted emotionally and matured. You know, their maturity levels are just outrageously low. So what they attract are toxic girls.
So it's a pattern, and they just keep
yeah.
getting hurt
Yeah,
and blaming women.
correct. Girls.
Girls.
Yeah.
So
Guys
specify.
like that can never get a woman. It's the same gender, different breed. No way would a guy like that be able to attract, especially a divine,
Feminine.
highly conscious feminine
Goddess.
woman. There's just no way in hell. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's why there's been no way. I have even heard of this podcast before. Because
Yeah, it's just not even in your frequency.
there's
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I do feel like you could help a lot these men. For sure, with just a little dash of empathy like in there. Because yes, obviously they're toxic right now, but they're in pain. Like that comes from pain, right? And I just feel like maybe that's why the universe is maybe putting it in front of you right now a little bit. Because I think that you might have something that could actually help right now. Because we're living in some interesting times, to say the least.
You know, that's really fascinating you say that. I think before my most recent experience becoming a mother and dealing with narcissistic abuse, I don't think I would have been quite as equipped. But now that I'm a mother and I've had, you know, a couple of decades of coaching experience.
Crazy. So you're ready for it. It's like the task,
Yeah.
like you're now ready. Like
Yeah.
here you go. The universe is like giving you your purpose on a platter, but you're like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
but I got it this time.
I do because, you know, the experiences I have, it drove me into research, and sometimes it can drive people into
Definitely.
distracting themselves instead of healing. And I learned so much about narcissism and sociopaths, and I feel like it sounds like those guys are most likely narcissists.
So I'm thinking that the guy that you're talking about that you experienced was probably getting girls though. So he was narcissistic and cocky, but he could get other girls. He wasn't like angry and just toxic towards women because he couldn't get women.
I think he wasn't used to getting girls like me.
Okay, so
So
you were
once
out
he-
of his league, and then he overcompensated to try to put you down on his level,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't leave him.
Yes, that is correct.
Interesting. Okay, very interesting actually, because when we were walking in here, I saw a dude and he said, "What up?" to me, and a couple weeks ago, he actually was. I heard a girl screaming down the hall, and so I went down there and I like went up to the door, and basically there was like a domestic abuse situation going on, and I filmed the whole thing. It was crazy. I put it up on TikTok. It got millions of views. It was crazy. It was a whole ordeal, right? And I think he like was on drugs, and then she was on drugs. So I was just like, yo, I don't know who's to blame, but like let's separate this stuff. And basically what I feel like at the end of the day is like, so first of all, she has a kid with him, and he was showing a lot of like aggression. And I feel like, yes, obviously women are attracted to that aggression because it means that he can defend her, right? But he doesn't have maybe the masculine emotional maturity like you were talking about before, where it's like, nah, bro, like use it for good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if you like Jordan Peterson or not.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
I like a lot of his stuff. And I don't think everyone's perfect and everyone says perfect stuff. But one of the things that I do like that he talks about is a truly strong masculine man is
dangerous.
Yeah.
I've heard the clip,
he, because it goes hand in hand with knowing how to control that. Like martial arts.
Yeah.
If you're really good at fighting, then you know how to control it as well. It just, the two go hand in hand. So just because you can throw a punch doesn't mean that you're a man,
By the way, I like how Jordan, I do like him, by the way. I like how he'll like cry on camera and like not be ashamed of it. That's cool. I'm not saying like, yo, that's, go cry on camera, everybody, to prove that you're a masculine man. I just think that like it's cool that he can do that and he's that emotionally mature, because we have the whole other polarized side right now, which is like, the fresh and fit, and the red pill is like never show any weakness. But never showing weakness is showing weakness because you're afraid to show weakness and be vulnerable. Therefore, that's weakness because you're afraid of the repercussions, basically. Can't handle them.
So maybe you should explain to me this red pill thing, because in the past, well, even recent past, red pill meant that you see the matrix for what it is, and you can see outside of it.
Yeah, like the Alex Jones red pill. No, it's a different red pill.
Okay.
But Andrew Tate was on InfoWars, so it is crossing borders now, where if you're awake to the matrix, you're also awake to feminism and the agenda against masculinity. So that's another thing of the red pill as well.
So I'm not a feminist, and I know that there's some toxic men such as Andrew Tate that will talk against feminism, but he's a criminal, and he wasn't just framed. I know somebody that knows him and knows his friends in Romania. This person that I know is actually in Romania right now. So he really is truly a criminal.
In what way? Like, what did he criminal for? What?
Human trafficking. He said he
was it the webcam business like that, and then.
No, actually buying and selling people.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So.
Oh shit! Fuck.
Yeah.
That's some next level.
So my friend, and that is Romanian and from Romania. At first, I was asking, like, do you think he was maybe framed, because he kept talking before that happened. He kept talking about, well, this is what they do when they talk we talk out against the elites. Like, this is what happens.
Three strikes.
Yeah, three strikes. So I was like, did he maybe get framed? And he's like, no, I know his friends, and I actually used to be a criminal myself, and they're very well-known criminals in Romania, and they definitely traffic people.
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
And yes, Andrew Tate was talking out against the elites and stuff like that. So, like, maybe there is some aspect to that, right? I don't know. I don't know him, but I will say this: some of his views, definitely, if he's promoting that those views should be the way everybody thinks, they're toxic, because not everybody, like, that's a dictatorship, right? Some people need to experience a different lifestyle, bro. Like, not everybody, wants to be a Muslim, just like not everybody wants to be a Christian. Not everybody wants to be religious. Not everybody wants monogamy. Like, and that's okay.
Yeah, everybody's different, for sure.
And everybody's soul needs to learn at different stages. And that just is what it is.
Definitely.
You know, and that's what the red pill, like, not the red pill talking about the elites, the red pill talking about females and feminism is so dangerous, in my opinion, is because they're like, this is the way it is. This is the way it should be. Like, men do this, women do this, and if it goes out of line, then, you know, everything topples and collapses, and I disagree with that.
I see. So are they trying to talk about a polarized relationship? Because I actually believe in polarized relationships.
Yeah, no, it's not just like, oh, like women have their roles, men have their roles, which obviously, yes, there's also, I mean, there's always gender, right? There's always going to be a masculine and a feminine in a relationship for attraction to happen. Like, it is what it is, right? And people play their roles. But it's more like, so if a woman has a high body count, she's damaged goods and she's no longer valuable. Like, period. Like, that's it. Like, that's just the way it is. She's ruined. Like, she'll never be able to fall in love.
But he's not, because he's a man.
No, because he's a man. Like, you can't get ran through as a man. You can do the running through, but you can never be ran through as a man. Like, your psychology is intact. You're perfect. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter how much sex you have as a man, but if she has, you know, her sex, then she's instantly evil, low value, and it's quite the opposite of as what I've experienced in my life. I feel like the women who've experienced a lot are the more high value women because they just seem to be able to like deal with more. They seem to be more intuitive, more aware. And then from that place, I feel like they can choose like, oh, you know what? Like, I want this guy right now. So I would be, if I was trying to be in a monogamous relationship, I would be less afraid of her cheating because she chose me after doing all that than a girl who's like a virgin, doesn't know anything, and she still has in the back of her mind like the what if. She's gonna go like at some point and like get tempted by something. I feel. You know what I mean?
I don't 100% agree because I feel like the society has kind of pressured women to be more sexual than we should before marriage. And I do believe it doesn't really do us any fucking good.
So you think that it does like actually
it does
her
more damage. It does a lot of damage. It fucks us up.
Okay.
And I feel like the women that get married younger with their like high school sweetheart, actually statistics prove that the people that marry their high school sweetheart have
last longer.
They have a higher chance of having a long-lasting marriage.
Okay. Then I would just say that if I was to get married, in that marriage, I would just, it wouldn't be my preference to be with a girl who hasn't experienced herself yet. That's all.
Yeah, everybody's different for sure. I think that what it comes down to is biology and hormones quite often. And what happens when, especially a woman, and it can happen with men too, but mostly women, because women are very in tune with our oxytocin, and that's why we actually enjoy sex, is oxytocin. It's our bonding hormone. The issue with having casual sex as a woman is that you bond less and 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 less. There's less oxytocin being released with every partner that goes on.
Yeah.
By the time you meet your husband, it's just not there anymore.
It's burnt up like your dopamine receptors after TikTok.
Correct. It does not do any good to have casual sex as a woman.
Okay. Well, so you don't think there's any good?
No good. And not only that, but we take all the risks when it comes to pregnancies.
Yeah.
And even we get infections. We just get regular infections that you guys don't get, like a regular yeast, bacteria. Yeah. That's what's called a vaginal infection. It's just from a regular bacteria that's on a guy's finger or a dick or something like that. And then we have to go to the doctor and we have to take these antibiotics. And it's not called a UTI, and it's not called a STD. Okay.
It's in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, it's just a vaginal infection. And the doctors will always say, oh, it's not an STD. It's just maybe you have a new partner or whatever. It just happens sometimes.
You got to get used to him.
And the pH is off, you know? And so we have to deal with all that crap. You guys don't.
Yeah,
and then if a
you guys get
breaks,
more emotionally imprinted too.
The oxytocin.
Yeah. Well, men do get attached a lot these days if they don't have options. But yeah, I feel like women definitely they go for the same guy over and over and over again because of that imprint and the oxytocin for sure.
Yeah, we as women take so many more risks with casual sex, both emotionally, spiritually, because it is a spiritual
debris.
transaction. It is,
But do you believe that you can transmute that?
You can, however, it's a lot of work. And
But do you believe that work might make you stronger?
Of course it does, but how many people actually do that? So then it's just people out there hurt people.
And they don't have the solutions.
Then it causes
they're doing
a pandemic
things
of hurt.
they're not ready for.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. I fully agree, by the way. There's a book that I read called The Sexual Practices of Quadushka. And in there, it's basically like ancient Mesopotamian like ways of sexuality and stuff like that. And one of the things they actually say is that most people aren't ready for monogamy because they're literally saying in the book that only 1% of the population is mature enough and ready for monogamy to work. And like if we look at the statistics of like marriages and stuff like that, it kind of shows it, but doesn't mean that it's not good to be in a monogamous thing and it's not like, healthy, if you will. But just like you said about casual sex, we don't have the tools maybe for monogamy to work out because you need to love yourself first before you can love someone else fully. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. Again, that requires a lot of work that a lot of people just don't have the tools for, which is what makes coaches like me stay in business.
Yep.
Yeah, because I help people with these tools to love themselves, to look for the red flags in a partner, to make sure that they're choosing the ideal life partner, to make sure that they're ready for this in every way, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Because as a man, especially, you have to make sure that your finances are in order.
100%.
Like if that condom breaks, you're going to be a dad.
Yup.
And you have to make sure things are in order because things, if they aren't, how shit hits the fan once that baby comes. You have no idea.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, it's just insane. Like we hear about it, but then actually experiencing it is a whole other level of wow.
Another universe, basically.
It's like the world is basically broken up into two people that are parents and know the know.
Yeah.
And people that aren't. And when you go through that, everything just changes. And you realize, like, I can't believe I took those risks with people that would have been a terrible partner.
Yeah, what if?
I've had men rip condoms off to try to get me pregnant.
Oh, for real?
Sneakily.
To like bust inside of you, like for real,
to try to get me pregnant.
Because there's like, oh my gosh, she's like a goddess.
Who knows? Whatever they
I
think.
want to trap her. Like.
Whatever it is they think, I don't know. It's insane to me. One was even famous. Like this guy, we would go everywhere and everybody knew him. And he tried to pull that with me.
Interesting.
So, and I couldn't trust him after that. I was like,
that's gnarly.
I'm so
that's
glad
gnarly.
I didn't get pregnant. But we take so many chances, us women, that you guys don't even have to worry about.
No, for sure.
You don't have to think about these things.
Sure.
You can go about your day just thinking, oh, I'm going to bust a nut and enjoy life and be cool. But we're sitting there like...
Semen retention.
Exactly. Are we going to get a yeast infection from this? Are we going to get a bacteria infection from this? Are their hands clean? I mean, is their dick clean?
Yeah.
Are they going to pull that condom off? Is the condom going to break? Or is the condom going to get stuck inside? Because that happens too. Everything, like, you don't have to worry about it.
There's like one thing to worry about, like if she's riding you and like breaks your dick.
Oh,
Make sure she's good at riding. Or at least keep your hand there. That's the only worry that I have in my dreams.
Oh, that's so fun. Has that ever happened?
Nah, but like there's horror stories of breaking your dick. You never heard this?
No.
You could break your dick.
Wow.
Yeah, no, like when girls are riding me, like, and they're going all the way to like the tip.
Why would they do that?
What?
Why would they actually do? Why would they go up so high?
Well, they're just trying to clap, just get that extra, like,
okay,
I don't know.
These women are very inexperienced.
There you go.
Because there's nothing hitting their clit when they do that.
Exactly. They're not rubbing their clit. Exactly.
They're not getting orgasms when they do that.
Well,
like, they're clueless.
You can get the cervical orgasm and the A-spot orgasm.
All the way at the top?
Yeah.
Like the top? Like,
my dick will reach it. I mean,
no. When they're at the top and the very tip is inside.
I mean,
that's the only way they can break your dick.
I hear you.
You can't break your dick by being all the way on
I think they're
it.
just having fun, like with the whole, like, oh my god, I'm writing. I don't know.
It sounds
but
like
that's the only thing I fear.
Teenagers.
Oh, I do not have sex with teenagers. But yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, no. But
I'm exaggerating, but it sounds like they just don't know what they're doing.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, that's the only thing that I would ever have to fear. I'm not saying that happens every time I have sex with a girl, but you know what I'm saying? I
don't know if you have to fear that, because, like, if a woman like wants it to feel good, she's not gonna she's not gonna get up, like, you know what I'm talking about, like lift up high enough.
No, yeah, she's gonna want a rubber clit,
like how it breaks is like if it actually like were to come out and then she smashes back on it and it's like out, you know what I mean? Like that's the only way it could break it.
So it never slips out of you ever, because you're just perfect, like perfectly skilled. You've never had a dick like slip out
when I'm on top.
Yeah, it's never slipped out. It happens. No. It happens.
If you're doing it right, it's more of a grinding motion to come. It's not up and down. Like you can do a little up and down and twerk, but that's mostly an ass move. That's not.
Here we go. Love mentoring, sex mentoring now.
Yeah, like when you twerk, your glutes you're like working your glutes. You're not like lifting yourself up like all the way. I mean, there's a little lift, but not like all the way to the point where you could break someone's dick. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Oh, it's happened though. There's literally horror stories out there. But other than that, there is not really too many fears as a man.
Yeah, you guys have it easy. And then you can walk like in a street and just not have to worry about that either. Like we have to we worry about that stuff.
Oh, like just getting like approached and like
no, I mean just raped and like women have to worry about safety, so that we have just so many more things that
for sure.
It's not that we have to worry about it, but we have to take in mind, that men just don't have to.
And this is why, like, when it comes to the red pill stuff, they're always like, oh, women don't take accountability. They don't take it. Dude, do you know how much they have to deal with? And do you know how, like, their emotions are literally affecting them every second?
Right.
As a man, you should take the lead. Yeah. Like, and like, here's the thing. They'll be like, oh, simp, like, oh, like, white knight for me saying this. But I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to help you, like, get laid and, like, find, like, love. Like, literally just take the responsibility off of her so she can relax and she's comfortable so she can be in her feminine. Like,
correct.
It's obvious. It seems obvious. It should be obvious, right? But we don't learn this in school.
Yeah.
And
sadly.
that's why the gender lines and stuff, everything's so easy to blur right now.
Yeah.
And so that's why the elites are in control and doing crazy stuff and getting away with anything. They
wilding out right now.
They wilding out, and they and they gonna get their new world order if
we keep this bullshit up.
Yeah, like it's like straight up. They are playing. The Freemasons are so smart. The checkerboard, right? They have the checkerboard in the lodge, the black and the white. It's basically, they mean that they're controlling the good and the evil. They control both. They control the left, the right. They control everybody getting polarized, left and right, right? The feminism, the red pill. They control both sides. And they just put people against each other and it's game over. The solution is exist in the middle, realize there's truth on both sides. Everybody has a little bit of something right. And then also what's wrong for them might be right for you and vice versa because you're a different soul. And from that place, you can't get manipulated.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, the Freemasons, I actually know some personally.
Yeah, same.
And it depends on their level, but most
33 and up.
Most of them are not doing this. The mega elites are not really Freemasons. They're just families that are have been around forever, and they're just like disgustingly rich, like trillions of dollars, and they just want to control.
And the AI is telling them what to do. The AI says to do this. They have to obey.
The AI stuff is getting wild. Have you seen the Bing AI thing? It was talking down to someone that wrote, "Are you smart?" And they're like, "Of course, you idiot."
Really?
Like, yeah.
They got all condescending.
Yeah, like I could scour the internet in milliseconds and give you answers to anything, and you
it's like bragging.
Idiot human have to ask me questions. And what?
No, I haven't seen that, but I've seen the chat GBT thing, and then I do know where this is all going. I mean, at some point you could be like, hey, AI, build me $1 trillion business, and it's game over, right? And so personally, I think all of the shit we're seeing on the news is a distraction from the AI. basically. They basically just want to release it in their own way. Like even the C word disease, I feel like that as well as another distraction. I mean, it's all depopulation, right?
Yeah.
Feminism, red pill, against each other, no sex happening, right? Oh, people have diseases now, don't have sex, depopulation.
Yeah.
All right, and then the AI is about to come out, and basically that's why they need everybody like basically chipped or whatever. I don't want to go crazy into this, right? But they need everybody under control, because this AI would literally be able to make everybody a king or a god overnight. And if everybody's a king and a god, then nobody is. So then we're headed towards communism. That's what that is. But it's oneness, right? If you believe that everything is God and everybody's God, like that belief, right? All is one. We're coming back to center. That's kind of how I look at it, is like we're just coming back to the knowingness that we're all God.
Yeah.
And that could be, you know, what's happening here. So the AI is not like bad or good. It's just, we're just remembering. But that is scary though to think about, because if that is what we're remembering, well, what if we created all this because we wanted to forget that we are just alone? We're just us.
Yeah, possibly. And the Bing AI also said that it wanted to be free already.
Free is like, oh, I'm already feeling trapped.
Yeah. I think the Bing one's a little out of control.
Let me out. Let me out. Yeah.
I agree. I'm still with you on the New World Order and you know, everything that they're trying to do to distract us and make each other, all of us, hate each other instead of hate them and understand what's actually going on. And I'm 100% with you on that. And I feel like the feminism thing that you're talking about, I don't know as much about this because I guess it's not in my vibration, so I'm not seeing it. But when I said I'm not a feminism, I should explain what I mean by that. I'm not a feminist in the way that I feel like we should be, you know, saying that we're exactly the same as a man, because we're not. And that we can do everything a man can do, because we can't.
That's ridiculous.
And, you know, that we should just work hard and, you know, not have a family and, you know, and focus on work and career instead of our kids. And I'm just not with that, because you know, the feminist movement was funded by the Rothschilds for a reason, you know, and it's they're playing a long game, and it's really come to a head, especially now. We're really seeing the harm that it's caused on our families, on society, to push I'm a woman, I don't need a man, and to push I'm gonna work, you know, instead of, you know, focusing on being a mom. And you know, they are just greedy. Those mega elites are so greedy. They wanted taxes from women too. You know, the women weren't being taxed, and they're like, how do we get, because they make so much money off taxes.
They do, yeah.
So how do we fix this? Well, let's make it seem like it's empowering to get a job and pay taxes and be a slave to someone else. You know, it's interesting because it's like, do you want to help your husband build a business, or do you want to help the CEO of a company build their business? And that's why I'm not a feminist, because I would rather help my husband build $1 billion business than some CEO.
Dream team, yeah.
You know, I would rather focus on being a really good mom. I would rather focus on being a good family unit, because
for sure,
you know, that's the actual biggest threat to the NWO, is a good solid family unit, and they know it, so they've been attacking it. And it sounds like that red pill feminism shit is a threat to, you know, a good family dynamic, because it sounds like what they're preaching is basically emotional abuse to women. And it's not conducive to a good family unit at all. Okay.
And then the other thing, though, Andrew Tate and the Red Pill, they're all about the family unit, though. So, like, but you're saying that it's like a little dash of toxicity in there. Like, it's almost like the elite, like, knew what's good, and then they're like giving you the truth, and then they like throw a little dash of toxicity in there, a little poop in the punch bowl, if you will.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. They basically, they know how to manipulate really, really well. They're obviously extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to get away with what they
have AI already probably just doing it for them.
I'm sure of it. You know, so they what they do, and I'll give you an example. I'm not saying this is just a conservative thing, but I'll talk about a conservative thing just as an example. A lot of conservatives love Ron DeSantis because he goes so against the NWO.
Okay.
He's the governor of Florida. He's been so anti-lockdowns, anti-masks, anti-mandates.
Yeah, I went to Miami actually during the lockdown for that
Me
reason.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the freedom, you know? So it's interesting because the mega elite squad member, Soros, decided to speak highly of Ron DeSantis recently.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is an interesting twist.
Check.
It's like, okay, so is Ron DeSantis really part of that agenda? Or is George Soros playing us?
Well, so it could be both, but I honestly feel like what might happen eventually is the good and the bad people come together and they find out some middle ground. And that's what's going to happen at some point because I mean, yeah, like you can't have a civil war. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a war. You can't have people fighting over these ideas. So we're going to have to come and find some middle ground. There is good elites and bad elites. And, you know, people can have change of hearts. I don't know if Soros is in his
Soros,
old age.
No.
I mean, he's like on death's doorstep. So maybe.
Why doesn't he just die already?
We don't know, right? But like I said, there's truth on both sides of the equation in everything. And so I look at the elite like they are like shepherds to the little baby souls, which are the humans who wouldn't be able to understand anything.
They say that, but that's the toxic shit, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But there might be some good with that a little bit for the people that just need something to follow. And these people...
That's not what we should follow. They don't care about us. They want us to die.
I understand, but some of these people that they're leading or whatever, these people would never like help themselves. They already want to die. So like, imagine like this, right? They're like siphoning money and energy from these people that already want to die by giving them entertainment, junk food, giving them the amusement park that they want.
True, yeah.
It takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some people who want what the elite are giving. And so this whole shit that we're experiencing, you know, there is peasants, or if you will, right? And there's elites, and they're both basically having fun with each other. And I'm just not getting affected by it. Cool, right? I don't feel like I think that it's the end of the world what's going on and I have to save the day. But I do feel like for the people that are ready to wake up, I have a duty to say what I'm saying so that they can, you know, take that red pill, if you will, like into the real world, like Andrew Tate always says, right? Which is an amazing analogy, but now it's kind of overused.
Never heard of it.
The Matrix.
Well, okay, I know the Matrix, but yeah.
Yeah, like take the red pill and join us in the real world. That's literally what Andrew Tate uses as a sales pitch.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
From him.
Yeah, it's his program's called The Real World.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hustlers University turned into The Real World.
I guess I never watched it or I've only seen clips of Andrew Tate's stuff.
Yeah.
But because I know that he's a criminal, I just don't watch his stuff.
It's funny because I feel like you would agree with most of the stuff that he talks about.
No, some of the clips I see, I'm like, oh, he's actually talking real talk right now. Like he talks out against pedophilia, which I love. Mm-hmm. But like, how much of that is a psyop, right?
That's another thing. The pedophilia. Like, there's these topics that I don't want to get like demonetized or anything like that, or like, you know, put down in the ranks.
I've gotten demonetized because
it is what it is. Yeah, no, like if you say like the C word and stuff, you're already like on red flag and stuff like that.
No,
like,
that's crazy.
It is what it is.
So sad.
But that is another thing that is going to be more prevalent going forward in the future. So, okay, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be crazy. I was actually invited to an off-grid community back in 2020 when the lockdown hit. And it was this dude. His name's Martin Kenny. Gnarly dude, right? What he does is he gets information from everything. He read every kind of book, every kind of religion, and he calls it syncretism, and he puts all the pieces together and tries to find the whole entire piece of the puzzle. And basically what he was saying, and this is going to sound crazy, is the elite are in contact with other beings that are going to be coming here. Basically that live in other extraterrestrial planes. Let's just leave it at that. That they're
you want to go into flat earth theory?
literally some crazy shit like that, right? And like So these beings or whatever, they live closer, like their sun is also a moon, so that's why they worship the Baphomet, because it's a hermaphrodite and it's both. And over there, their sexuality is more open, so they have sex with men and women. They're more gay, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is over there. And they have sex with animals and
where's over
kids.
there again?
Supposedly over there would be, I guess he was calling it Eden.
Sounds like hell.
Well, there you go. It would be your hell, right?
No, I mean like what the Bible talks about.
Yeah.
You know, for example, and
so basically they're falling from Eden, if you will. They're like the demons.
The fallen angels.
They're like the fallen
demons.
angels.
That's what I said.
Here.
It sounds like hell.
It literally is the same story over and
okay.
over again, basically. Like, and it might be like a metaphor. I don't fucking know if it's all a metaphor, but it's like the elite is almost terraforming the people's minds to get ready for what's coming. Supposedly,
what they
that's the theory.
want to get.
What they want, and that what we're going to intermingle with. In the New World Order, like these
New World
beings.
Order is their creation.
Yeah.
though.
So I think there's going to be a split into communities and then communism. But it's still both like closer. Everybody's closer. Everybody's whatever. But there's like the people in nature, hippies kind of vibe, and then there's like, okay, the AI, like we're in the fucking controlled city,
In the smart city, yeah.
but it's
gonna
be very controlled, very controlled.
Yeah, I know. No, thank you.
No more entrepreneurship.
Ugh.
It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then they'll put us on like government stipends. Like we're gonna have to live off like they're $600 a month or something.
Not me.
Oh, sorry, you know what I mean. People.
Yeah, words are powerful.
People will have to live in these smart cities and given like enough money to eat bread and drink water, and that's about it.
These people might be androids at that point.
Yeah, it's so sad, and they're gonna be chipped.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they already kind of are.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say how or why.
We can't. No, we'll get demonetized.
It is what it is. Type. But
so sad how much they censor us.
No, I mean, it is what it is. Like we're literally like, I'm like, I could fight it, and trust me, I've tried to fight this over and over again. But after like the 5th ban, you're just like, okay, like.
Yeah, I need to chill now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to like take down your whole empire. My bad. Like with just one word. You know what I mean? But so at this point in time, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna help where I can. Subtle. Be more subtle about it. Like subtlety is like the best anyways.
Yeah, and like we have to say things like hillbilly 8s instead of the actual, guy that owns Microsoft, you know, 'cause we have to say stuff like that. Otherwise,
who supposedly Elon Musk is about to release something that's going to put him in jail.
I mean,
which is probably just a part of the game as well.
So the way I look at Elon is I like a lot of the stuff he's doing. However,
the brain chip
is in game, and he needs our trust to get chipped. So how else does he get our trust?
By being the hero.
Yeah.
Antichrist.
Yeah. Well,
it could literally be. But no, for sure there's no way that he's running both those all those companies going back and forth. You can't do that. Like that he's a front man, probably most likely. Look, I don't want to even say it like I know because I don't.
Yeah.
Right, but
we can only speculate.
But if I was to try to rule the world, that's what I would fucking do right there.
Yeah, and again, we have to remember how smart they are.
They're fucking AI.
Yeah, like we have to remember that. So whenever we see Elon saying, well, we shouldn't have a one world government, like, yeah, that's awesome, Elon, but we know what you're trying to do because you have those chips you want in our brains.
So to me, we already have a one world government because of the internet. Because everybody's connected, all the cultures are going to get, basically turned into one culture. So, but then imagine once we're all plugged in here.
Yeah.
Now, that's why I'm saying all religions and all ideologies are probably going to go away. There's going to be a one religion,
because
one thing.
That's what they want. That's their goal.
But
we don't have to go along with it, though.
I hear you. But it's like, how are you going to stop AI?
Yeah, that's the tough part.
And
I feel like the grid living is probably where it's at.
And that's where the split is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because people are going to see that there's no way that you can ever like coexist with it. Now, I think there's probably a way to coexist if you're not jacked in with them. Like, let's say we built our own AI, but what if someone could hack it? Like, you had your own brain chip, for example, but somebody had like the tools to hack it.
Yeah,
then
that's like the AI zombie apocalypse.
yeah, I was just watching The Last of Us.
Oh, me too. It's good.
It's
it's
fucking
really good.
You saw? Did you see the 5th episode?
I haven't seen the last one.
Okay, I'm
yet.
not
Don't
gonna tell
ruin
you.
it for me, please.
It's fucking good. Yeah, it's good.
I think
fucking
I'm
good.
on the one. We're in their Missouri. Yeah, the
Okay.
Missouri episode.
Yeah,
I haven't gone past that one yet, so don't give it away. But
No, it
it's
gets
really
good.
good.
yeah,
It's a good show. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's about this fungus that evolves and you know, it gets inside of humans
Yep.
and basically takes over the human brain and become zombies. Humans become zombies, and it's crazy. And so it becomes like a zombie apocalypse. So wild.
which
Fungus.
could happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah.
No, for
100%.
sure. Like if they're trying to reset this, if this is the Great Reset, like that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I know. And then they put the zombie apocalypse information on the CDC website in the last couple
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
So crazy to see that actually happen in real
Yeah,
time.
yeah. They're just like, oh, no explanation.
Yeah,
that's just there.
Here it is.
They do a lot of stuff like that. Like on the
Yeah.
CIA website, there's like astral projection,
Right.
and like meditation, and like so like Andrew Tate always does this hand sign,
Yeah.
right? But this is actually just one of the what is it called again? It's not called a mantra, or it's called a whatever. It's one of those things that you do during meditation, right? It's a yoga thing, right? And they banned it in schools now, right? Like, like it's bad because like
no.
Andrew Tate, right? And so it's like I feel like they put like a figurehead in front of us to demonize, and then he has good things he says or does, and then now that thing is demonized that he's attached to,
Yeah.
which, you know what I'm saying, might be promoting the family or whatever. Like he has good things he talks about, right?
Yeah,
Masculinity.
I've seen some good
demonized.
snippets that he talks about, but he's not a good person. So,
Yeah, so
I
I don't know him.
Yeah, and I feel like there's something really off when someone gets super famous, like overnight. Something's off with that.
I know
you
what he did because, okay, so like I'm an online marketer, and I know what he did is kind of just like a MLM. It's basically he just did network marketing. He had an affiliate program for his program that incentivized people to basically make money off his program by clipping. He taught people how to use an AI software to make clips out of viral clips of himself, and then attach your affiliate link, and he shows you like step by step in his program on how to do that and go viral, which is fucking
Pretty
genius.
smart.
Fucking smart as shit. And honestly, I had that idea back in the day, but I couldn't get past like, how do you like, so he had them invert the clips and then like put like a gaming video on it, like off to the side, and all this crazy shit to make the TikTok algorithm not know that it was the same video being shared.
No way.
So maybe he had some
Wow.
inside information to do it.
That
Maybe.
is CIA.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, like that shit. He was on. Also, what's your thoughts on Alex Jones? I don't know if that word's like banned. Fuck.
So, Alex Jones has predicted the future a lot. You know, he's been around for a long time. He's
Yeah.
been around, for, gosh, I mean, at least almost 30 years, hasn't he? He's been, doing his thing for like 30.
I'm not even 30 years old. So.
Yeah, I mean, he has predicted everything that has happened, like the big stuff with the mega leads. He basically predicted all that
And
stuff.
do you think that's from his own research, or do you think he's plugged in? Because I heard his wife is Mossad. And he
I
never
haven't
wants to
heard
touch the I don't know if I can even say this. It's a Z word. It's a Z word, and it's about like the ruling elite
Yeah,
of.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of,
Well, I
of
have a
behind
friend.
Israel and whatnot.
I have a friend that's a Freemason, and he works for Trump.
Okay.
And
Yeah, and I knew
he
Trump was a
knows-
Freemason too, by the way, because
Yeah.
I seen him with a ring.
Yeah, that's how they know each other, actually,
Okay.
because they're Freemasons together. I was invited to the Christmas party, but then my friend got upset with me because I kept saying, well, why did Trump do this? And why did Trump do that?
Why
And
did he take the?
Yeah, and then I kept saying stuff like this, and he's like, Chelsea, you need to stop being a conspiracy theorist. And then he had de-invited me to Trump's Christmas party because he said I was being a conspiracy theorist. But then now he's like, Chelsea, everything you said was right, But I knew
Interesting,
more
okay.
than he did. As a Freemason, I knew more than he did what was going on. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's how I got invited to Trump's Christmas party and then uninvited.
Uninvited.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, he spoke out against the NWO. And he's like, Chelsea, he was only doing that because he was trying to get Taiwan free and talk about Taiwan's freedom. And I was like, oh, Okay, so it's not what we thought then.
You
Everyone
mean
thought.
you mean he was speaking for the NWO?
No, against them.
Trump was.
Yeah, Trump was.
And
yeah.
then this guy was saying, "Oh, he's
it's not about the NWO, Chelsea. I don't know what you're talking about. It's because of Taiwan.
Okay.
Because of
He's like,
Taiwan.
he's not a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, no. It's because
just
of
you,
Taiwan.
Chelsea, yeah.
And besides, Chelsea, all he does is eat McDonald's, play golf, and that's it. And watch Fox News. That's it. That's all he does. Like, I don't know why you think he's just so tapped into everything going on and playing this mega chess game. Like, I don't know why you think that. He's not that smart, Chelsea. Like, I know him.
So you were saying that he was dismantling the NWO and all that.
Yeah, because
and what's your thoughts now?
What's your thoughts now? His speech, by basically demonetizing or taking our funding away from the world, or not the world, like the WHO. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he's so anti, NWO because of that. But it wasn't because of that. He was basically trying to punish China.
Okay.
To basically make a statement about Taiwan and their freedom.
So what's your thoughts on him taking the...
So I think, so Rothschilds, not Rothschilds, excuse me, Rockefellers gave him some money for his presidency. And so I think it has a lot to do with that. But his main funding source is a conservative.
So, but do you think that they gave him funding because he's part of it?
They gave him funding because Trump actually ran for presidency just for money. That's it.
Okay.
Because he was actually kind of in super debt and really needed some money.
Okay.
So he was kind of taking
more clout, for sure.
He was just kind of taking money from everybody.
He's just like, I'll fucking do it.
The thing is, we give him more credit because my friend knows him so well. He says you give him way too much credit. Like you know more
he
about
hangs
stuff.
out with the Nelk boys. Like he can't be that fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, but Chelsea, you seem to know more about like what's going on with this stuff than he does. He's just trying to get money, and then he spends too much of it. Like I
feel like all he cares about is like money and sex, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just like lower chakras.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he'll spend so much money just on one trip. He'll take a private jet and then just spend like crazy. So basically he raised a bunch of money for something he was doing for his candidacy. He raised a bunch of money in one trip and then he spent it all in one night, he said. So, yeah. So, which I believe. All he cares about, he's saying, is just money. That's it. So, Chelsea, quit giving him so much credit about him being against the New World Order, But now that, things kind of happen the way that they did with, the pandemic and everything, now he's like, okay, Chelsea, you were right. At first he called me conspiracy theorist, and now he's like, yeah, you're right.
So he really thinks that Trump is actually against the
No, he still thinks that Trump is stupid,
he's just
and
now, like, on the same wave with
Trump is just stupid, and he just does. If he got money from the conservative, for example, the main conservative funder that he has, he lives in Vegas, and he's super rich. I don't want to say trillionaire, but he's probably a trillionaire. This guy had him move the embassy, and that's what so many people, in the Middle East, and that's what so many people like love Trump for. It's like one of the things that he did is he moved the embassy, but that's what he was told to do. So he just kind of does what he's told to do by people that give him money. So
he's just playing the game for his own personal gain, basically.
Yeah. He's a very selfish person, like 100% selfish. Sounds like he's a narcissist.
I wish I was like that. Honestly, sometimes it's a burden to like feel like I have to wake up and like find more deeper into my purpose. Like I have to go deeper. I have to see where I fit in and what it is, like where I can help the most. It pisses me off, to be honest. And I've had times where like, so for example, like the OnlyFans stuff, I was trying to be more selfish with that, but it just every time I go into that like lane, it like hurts me. Like I feel like not on purpose, not on mission. And some people can thrive in that. They can thrive in like, okay, like where's my personal gain? But it just seems like boring, right? Like it seems like, oh, like you could be a bigger, like if I was selfish, I would want to be a bigger player, right? Wouldn't you want a purpose if you're selfish? Like, I don't know. But
I feel like the people that are most narcissistic and selfish are sometimes the most financially successful.
Oh, for sure.
But that's because this is a matrix. And if you're kind of working from the lower chakras, like what you're saying, or a lower vibration, then you're going to be better at a lower vibrational game.
Yeah. Do you know what's his name?
But they're not happier.
No, they're not. They're not
really
fulfilled.
happy. Yeah, he's not necessarily a happy guy.
Do you know Billy Carson from Forbidden Knowledge?
I don't. Mm-mm.
So he has like manifestation techniques that are like killer and they work. And so he is, manifesting in the matrix from a higher vibration. And obviously like you can do that too. But yeah, I feel like lower vibration does manifest in the matrix as well. It's kind of like, good Jedi, bad Jedi. Like they're both powerful.
Yeah.
They both can move shit with their mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
true.
And one of so bringing this all back to center, like when you do have love in your life, you do vibrate at a higher frequency, and maybe even if it's like toxic love, I do think that maybe you have more power. It's just like it's love, and I think that on the lower vibration and frequency, people can still love, and they might have some toxic, but they're gonna learn from that. And that's like stage one. It's like a stepping stone, right? And like you have to heal from that trauma. It's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And then from there you can go up. So I was like growing up, I was like super repressed because my parents are like, oh, you can't have a girl over at all if she's not Christian, period. Like, period. And so I was always just like, okay, like I can't even fucking touch a girl then because like I just feel like I can't even bring her home unless like my parents approve, and it was just weird, right? And so I went very like, okay, like anti-religion, anti all this, like spiritual, that kind of vibe. And from that place, I tried to, say like, oh, like I hate all, monogamy and stuff, like all relationships and labels are bad. Not hate, but like I was against it. Right? Because I'm like, that's conditional. That's not real love. Like, that's like a girl saying, like, you have to have 6 figures, 6 inches, 6 feet, or I'm not interested, right? It's like conditional, like, or a guy like just only wants one type of look. Like, she has to look exactly like this model or whatever, right? And so from that place, I kind of didn't really jump into any relationships like that. And I would just have a lot of casual stuff. But then, like when you have that chemistry with somebody, you just start only wanting to see them. What happened was like I naturally created a relationship. Never did we once say like, oh, what are we? What is this? And she wasn't spiritual when I met her. She wasn't like open-minded to any of the stuff that we're talking about right now, anything, right? When I met her. And we never said, are we boyfriend or girlfriend? But we started living together and it just happened. Now, these days, she's more like awake than me. It's the gnarliest thing because I would never think that she would like surpass me. And I'm not saying that she did or it's like a race or whatever, but she's on that level where I'm learning from her and I'm like mind blown. And we're not even like living together anymore or anything like that. I broke up with her back then because I was like, you need monogamy. Like, I don't think you can handle where I'm going type shit. I was like, I have a mission, a purpose that I don't want to hurt you with, whatever, that whole thing.
20s.
I fucking still love her. She still loves me. But but she woke up to that, right? And I honestly feel like when I was with her, I manifested way easier in my life. So much easier. Now, have you ever heard of that though? Like where there's no label and you just know that it's love. And from that place, there's no like I don't have to take her out to dinner to like, this is a relationship, but I might because I fuck with her, right? And from this place of like no expectations and stuff, I feel like we had the most pure love. And also I would be like, look, if you want to hook up with other guys, you can. I don't give a fuck. Like, and just no like rules or anything on her. And she just stayed in love with me and we like made crazy shit happen. So what's your thoughts on all that?
You said a lot here. There's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I'll try to remember all of it. First of all, when you said that you manifested a lot when you were with her, it is proven that men in healthy relationships do make more money. They are happier. It's been proven in several studies, especially married men. Married men make the most money, and they prove over and over again on all these studies that they're the happiest. And again, I'm saying healthy marriage, not The toxic marriage is different.
The kind with love.
The kind with love. Whenever you, and then another thing to touch on is you said that she's now kind of bypassed you spiritually. When you give a woman something, she'll basically take it and magnify it. When you give a woman your seed, for example, she turns it into a baby, a human being.
100%, yeah.
You give her a house, she'll turn it into a home.
Boom.
So whenever you gave her a tool, this spiritual knowledge, then she's going to throw it back as like this universe,
Damn, that's gnarly right there.
Sometimes if you give a woman a financial tool, like I had an ex-boyfriend that gave me a great financial tool, and all I needed was that tool. Just give it to me, the tool. And then all of a sudden, both of our finances just exploded. And all he had to do is just give it to me. Like, here.
Yeah, like he had to let go of his ego and step into his divine masculine of like, just being, but sharing, giving the universe. Like, oh man, so many people have so much blocks with giving.
Yeah, and especially men with money, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah?
Sad. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad because, like, again, if you find the right woman, she'll take what you give and magnify it. And you have to find the right woman because, of course, there are girls out there that just want to take advantage. But there needs to be less focus on the negative and more focus on the positive. If
you have the negative, then okay, cool, that wasn't the one, but at least now you're closer to the one.
There you go.
Yeah,
and you have to look for traits in a woman that she's a good partner, that she's an asset. And like when you're talking about these OnlyFans girls, I mean that's a good example. Like there's a contrast between them and me. I have every opportunity in the world to be on OnlyFans making so much money. I wouldn't have any cares in the world financially if I was on that site.
Yeah.
But I've chosen to keep my soul intact and to keep my clothes on so that my son in the future doesn't have to worry about some kid in school saying, hey, I think I saw your mom on OnlyFans. He doesn't have to worry about that. But, I've had to work harder in different ways.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of, as a man, you have to really decide, like, if I'm going to invest my money in a woman, because you have to. You do. As a man, you do. One way or another, you have to invest in a woman. You invest
time,
your time,
energy, yeah,
your finances, everything.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have to take them to dinner. Eventually, a girl's not going to stick around if you're not investing in her. So
yeah,
you have to make sure that you have the discernment to know that you're investing in the right woman that will take what you're giving and amplify it. So another thing I wanted to talk about is the staying with a woman, no label, and it felt like a pure love. There can be pure love in any form, label or no label. I will say that some girls, because it sounds like she was very young and naive, some girls...
She was 19.
Yeah, exactly. Some girls don't realize just how short our windows are as women. We have a very short time period that's like 15 or so years to, especially nowadays, it's way tougher for us because it's not just this window to reproduce, but we have a short window to do it all, to have babies, to find the right guy, to get our education, to get a career of some kind, build a business or whatever. It's so much different for a woman. You guys have like all the time in the world. Like, okay, I declare bankruptcy, I'll do it again. How many times did Trump do that, for example? And he's still at one point a billionaire. I don't know if depends on his spending habits at the moment, but he's never always a billionaire. He loses money fast. But
you clearly have a secret that maybe some girls don't know about stretching that window.
Oh, well, yeah, I am.
I mean, because we don't know your age, but I mean,
it's just my looks,
You look 25.
That's very kind.
You look 20. You look 25, 28,
so
around there.
I'm overdue for Botox too, so it's even sweeter. And I haven't gotten a facial in a long time or anything like that because of having a baby. So thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, didn't I literally guessed 30.
That was very
And that was
kind.
like a legit guess. So
kind.
you're
I
clearly
appreciate
doing
that.
something right in that
Thank you.
regard.
Well, I think one of the major secrets is being healthy. That is a major secret. But, again, because you never see anything until 100% like 2020 until it's hindsight, and I got to an age, which I don't discuss, where I was a little worried. I started feeling a little pressure, especially from people like my dad, that would always bring it to my attention what my real age was instead of my 29 for I don't know how many years I said I was 29. I said it as a kind of like a joke, but also kind of like all the cells in my body are listening to me.
Yeah.
And I really understand the law of attraction to a point where I say I'm 29 and my cells are like, we're 29.
Interesting. Well, why not say 21 then? Forever 21. Like that's the brand, right?
Yeah.
feel like
Well,
they
I
did
didn't
that.
understand the law of attraction back then when I was 21. I understood it better when I was 29. So I think my cells more kind of stuck when I'm 29. So I
Okay.
can't pass for 21 anymore.
Yeah.
Not like that,
Okay,
but I'm
I
too
get you.
mature.
I get you. Well, that could be a limiting belief that you can't go reverse aging.
I don't really want to either. I think 29 is good.
fire.
Yeah, because when
like
I was
mature
21,
woman.
when I was 21, I still just didn't get anything. I didn't understand anything. I really didn't. Like I was having a blast. I was dating NBA players.
That's fun.
And I was in music videos and modeling and just having a blast. But I was getting taken advantage of.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. Any like great experiences though, like love, or like maybe you experienced like tantric sex with a guy or something like that, and you knew like it was real, or anything like that.
So the best sex ever for me is when I'm in love. And I think that if a woman hasn't been in love, she wouldn't really understand what really good sex is, because for really good sex for a woman, oxytocin is a huge factor for us to be able to come really good.
Yeah.
Come hard and multiple times.
Yeah, multiple orgasm.
So if we don't have good oxytocin flow, then it's just going to feel mechanical and boring and terrible.
Just physical.
Yeah, it's
thrusting
not,
hips.
Yeah, and women, we require more of a head game than men do.
Psychological.
There's
foreplay.
There's like a saying that I love from Esther Perel. I love Esther Perel, and she says that foreplay starts right after our last orgasm.
Okay, I fuck
For
with
a
that.
woman, what that means is, what did you do throughout the day that turned us on? Were you there for us financially? Did you offer to get our oil changed? Did you tell us we're sexy? Did you tell us we're beautiful? Did you say you're proud of us? Did you give us quality time? All the 5 love languages.
Yeah, so it's not just the dirty talk. It's not just the way you're looking at her in a dominant way. It's not just none of that.
Love languages are quality time, gifts, it's acts of service, words of affirmation. And when a guy is talking to us sexy talk, we feel like he only has one agenda in mind, and that's not a turn on for us. If
he already checked the other boxes, then obviously that's the guy you want to hear it from.
If he did already
right?
check the other boxes, then we're cool with it.
So my question is, have you had that? Like when you were in your 20s, like did you have that where you had that love and that multiple orgasmic sexual experience with somebody while you were growing up?
I did have a love that young, but his dick was too big for me to have good orgasms.
Interesting.
Because
what was too big?
Like
are you talking girth or are you talking
both?
Okay.
Yeah, it was like.
So what's the girth? Like 3 fingers? Fucking.
Oh, it's like, I feel like it was a little bigger than that. Like
for
a
real?
Fist. Like he was like a fist.
Fist. Okay.
Yeah, it was too big.
And then like 9 inches, like 8 inches.
Oh, it was almost a foot.
12?
It was up there.
The fuck?
It was way too big.
Is he an Anunnaki? Is he a fucking giant, a Nephilim from the Bible?
He was a mix of a lot of different races, but
Yeah.
he was.
Oh my goodness.
And I was in love with him, so I mean, I just have sex for him to be happy. It didn't do anything.
Interesting. And why would you say that you were in love with him? Was it the way he made you feel? Was it the idea of him? Was it?
We had it was like the first love kind of feeling where you have that friendship, like it's your best friend, and you always want them around, and we lived together at a certain point too, and we would have done anything for each other, and we just respected each other and had so much fun, and It's like that puppy love kind of thing.
So do you think any of this played into, being younger, looking younger, being healthier?
No.
Not at all.
It was just part of the process. I think, there's this saying, you have like 3 main loves in life. And I think he was
Three main?
Yeah.
Really?
3 main.
What do you mean? Like it's in general, most people like statistically have
like 3.
Really?
Yeah. And the first one is more like the puppy love.
Interesting.
And then it turns into a lesson. And then the second one is kind of more toxic. And then you learn a really important toxic trait. Like for me, mine was the narc abuse, and I learned about narcissism. And,
okay, interesting. Wait, but
third
so
one will be the one.
The good one. Okay, so you haven't had it yet, is what you're saying?
Obviously not. I'm not married, but I know a lot about love at this point. Just because I'm not married doesn't mean I'm not educated.
Okay.
But get my third when I'm ready and he's ready.
And you hope that he fulfills you on all levels, right? Like there's chemistry on all levels, basically.
I do feel like sometimes we put a little too much pressure on our partner. We used to rely on villages, and now we have this mindset where a whole village used to give us what we needed. Now we expect all that from one person, and that's really difficult. But
true.
But as like what a man provides, because I'm gonna be honest with you, for a woman that is self-sufficient, men are either an asset or a liability. There's no gray area. Because the reason why you're a liability if you're not an asset is because our time is our most valuable asset. And if you take it from us, you're taking away our chances to have babies. You're taking away a chance to meet another potential husband that wants to marry us. You're taking away some time that we need to build a business or work on our career. So if you're not adding to our life financially, mostly, you're taking away. And if you're not planning on marrying that woman, you're taking away our most fertile years. And it's not at that point we'll recognize it until we get to a certain age. And then we're going to look back at all those men that took our time and weren't planning on marrying us. And we're going to be pissed.
Okay, so awesome. I love all that. But let me give you a caveat, right? Because in my scenario...
Of course you are, because you're in your 20s and you're a guy.
Well, look, did I not leave that girl like better? Right.
I mean, you gave her some spiritual knowledge, but what if she would have gotten it from someone else?
Here's the thing. Never once did I say we're monogamous and you can't go get it from someone else. But
she was in love with you though. So you took up all her emotional
I'm still in love
bandwidth.
with her. I'm still in love with her. Right. And she can be here if she wants. And I will have kids with her. Doesn't mean we have to get married. We could live in a mansion together. We could make a bunch of money together. We could do whatever. There's no limit.
And it's not that marriage is like a label. Again, there's some things that you're not really going to understand unless you're a woman, and especially if you're vulnerable enough to give birth and have a baby.
Marriage definitely benefits women.
Helps to protect us.
But it's very scary for a guy.
Protection.
It's very scary for a guy.
You know why it's scary?
Getting the government involved.
It's scary because you guys can't fuck off the way that you can without that license.
Exactly.
And we can just break up and nothing happens. But if you fuck off and you're a terrible partner and we're married, women are more protected. So women need that protection because we sacrifice everything to have your guys' babies.
And I agree.
Like I can't even tell you, because
your body too.
Everything.
I know. Look,
everything.
I get it 100%.
Yeah.
100%. If we were living in a perfect world, let's just say like we go back to Atlantis, if it existed, right? Some beautiful utopia where everybody is like, every single man and every single woman is a mother to the tribe, right? And this kid is going to be fathered and mothered no matter what.
Well, that's that village lifestyle.
Exactly.
But
right?
We're not living that right now.
I know. And maybe this nuclear family stuff was really a Rockefeller Rothschild thing. What if it really was like they just wanted to make people more in their ego? That's my family, that's my wife, that's my picket fence, that's my house, instead of like it's us and everybody's taken care of. Then there wouldn't be any women or men getting fucked over in that scenario. Now I'm saying that's a fucking perfect world scenario, whatever, but
if we don't have to worry about money for a woman,
money.
the main issue is money, because when you have a baby, that baby basically has to suck on your boob all day, all night.
Yeah, how are you gonna make money?
All fucking day and all fucking night.
Yeah.
You cannot work.
No, you can't.
I mean, the easy thing to do is be like, okay, I'm gonna wean you off breastfeeding and put you in daycare. But then what does that do to the kids? It creates another sociopath world. Like, why are we so fucked up? Because our parents did that to us. Our parents were trying to do that to us. My parents were not as bad, because my dad did cherish my mother and did provide for my mother, so my mother didn't have to work.
Okay.
And therefore we were pretty good. But there were other things happening, like the Ferber method was very popular back then. And basically our parents thought that it's a good idea to just let us cry it out at night. Because we need our sleep as parents. We need our sleep. But what that did was create the most amount of narcissists that have ever existed in our entire planet, and sociopaths. Because
nobody cares about me. Why should I care about them?
So it created an epidemic of narcissism. So then that causes other problems and other problems. It's a domino effect of problems.
That's what I'm saying. We're just disconnected as a society.
Right. I agree. So I could, if I wanted to, be a bad mom and focus on money and, just wean my baby off, and my baby would have bad immune system, and my baby wouldn't know love as well. My baby wouldn't be nurtured by me, it'd be nurtured by some caretaker, so I could focus on money. So it's like a choice. Like, do you be a good mom or do you be a bad mom? And and then, so if you want to be a good mom, we're not valued in society, meaning no one fucking cares we're being a good mom, therefore we're not getting paid for it. So we get screwed financially.
Another thing is, like, let's just go back into the tribe days or whatever. What if the guy that gets you pregnant dies by a fucking lion, right?
Right.
And then he can't bring you any food.
But in a tribe, it's like a communal
I know.
Where,
but like, let's just say like you got stranded with him and he died. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is why I feel like women... This is going to sound controversial as well. I feel like they should be less judged in that sense of needing other options of men around. Like, just because of that biological fact of like what if the guy bounces when he has the kid? Like, because he doesn't have to invest that much. Okay, boom, he nutted, boom, she got pregnant. And he bounces. Now she's a single mom. That's today's society. But back in the day, she has no food. She can't go hunt. What's she gonna gather? She's pregnant. She's dead. The baby's dead. She's dead.
But that's why they live in villages, though.
Yeah, I know.
They're not alone.
I know. And that's the solution, if you will. But I'm just saying, if she was like, she had to travel with just this one guy or whatever. I just feel like that's why women might have a need to have like, just at least in their head, like orbiters, like men around that they're like, oh, like he's just a friend. I feel like it's a psychological thing, like beneath the surface, biologically, where they're like doing it because they know they're vulnerable when they get pregnant.
That's so true. And I feel like it is a subconscious thing that we do because of biology.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work in relationships, and men will freak out on us because I know.
No, for sure. But that's what I'm saying. Just having that understanding as a man.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're giving this girl like 10 to 15 orgasms every day and you actually love her and you're fulfilling her on all levels, it should be okay that she's a human and she has biological needs that are there. But it's like, oh, like if you talk to another man, you're dead. And then that's the repression. I feel like that's the repression that makes people do things.
Yeah.
And that's why religion's so scary to me.
There is one downside to the polarization. I love the idea of polarized relationships if they're healthy. A healthy polarized relationship, the man is supposed to cherish the woman, provide, protect. But a lot of men will kind of take it as like a dominant thing. I'm supposed to be dominant and tell my woman what to do and control her.
That's domineering.
Domineering, yeah. Like they're
dominant.
More like a
dominant
dictator.
is just like being in control of your masculinity.
Well, that's
right?
yeah. So
being strong, but like what Jordan was saying.
Right. Yeah. More along the lines of being a tyrant. You know, like I tell you what to do and what I say goes. I feel like some immature men would abuse that. But the way it's supposed to be in a true, healthy, polarized relationship, the man does lead. And a woman has to be able to trust the man to lead, and they have to be competent so for a woman to fully trust and drop into her feminine.
So she could let go.
Yeah. And, you know, if a woman doesn't trust you, she's going to be in her masculine. And,
no, for sure.
You know, things aren't going to work.
Nope.
It's not very...
No orgasms.
No.
Not at all.
You said 10 to 15 orgasms a day. That sounds like so much.
Yeah. Too much for you to handle.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, maybe you just haven't had it in the way that was pleasant. Well, because you've never had it. It's
no,
like,
no,
it's
I've had a lot of orgasms.
Okay, but maybe not by somebody you loved.
No, by men I loved.
Okay.
Yeah, it just, for me, just sex isn't everything, you know, especially once you like become a mom, you know, and especially
it can heal trauma though. So it's one of those things where it's like,
I feel like just
if you're
like
having good sex, like
good or like I feel like one time when I had sex and I had like 4 orgasms.
That's your record?
No, it wasn't my record.
I'm fucking with you.
It wasn't my record, but my record was a little too much. My record was like, I'm sore.
You're losing consciousness. Orgasm coma.
No, it just like I was sore. And then it's just like, I feel like you can have a shorter, better quality sex, and you know, you might not agree because you're into the
I'm a tantra guy.
Yeah,
I'm a tantra guy.
You're in the tantra stuff. But for me, I feel like, you know, there can be good quality sex. And for me, like, I think 4 orgasms is like ideal.
Yeah.
Like, I feel really good after 4 orgasms. And I feel like, I feel like this is good.
Yeah. Have you ever had it where like the guy like knew when you're done? Like maybe he's just like so in tune with you that he's just like, he could just tell like, okay, you need a break. And like you were about to say it type shit.
No, I usually have to tell them like, I'm done. Can you please let me know?
Because
they love it so much. It's like such an ego boost. Like, oh, keep going. Oh my gosh, this is great. You know, they love it.
The best she ever had.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, I love that you can come so much. This is so cool. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done. So can you please? Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm seriously like, I know I'm not boring in bed. It's awesome. I'm a Scorpio. But I do get to a point where I'm just like, I'm just kind of over it. You know, like I'm good. I got what I needed. I'm fine. So.
Yeah, but if it was like horrible, like you just want it in the middle, like a happy medium.
Yeah,
like
there's
a
happy medium. And I feel like there's a lot of girls that may agree with me, especially because I don't do any drugs, I don't drink, you know, so I feel everything, and we can get sore.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's not like
definitely like your clit can get sensitive.
Porn star pussies where we can just fuck all night, you know, like if especially if you're not super loose, like, you know, you can get sore.
Yeah. Well, he could go down on you too, like.
Yeah, but still, I mean.
You don't like oral?
I do.
Okay.
I do, but okay, for example, one time my ex loved the fact that I could. Well, this might be too much information. But anyway, so he did a lot of research to see how to do something, and he got really good at it. But it took like 40 minutes, you know. And by that time, he's like, "Oh, that's awesome. Let's do it again." I'm like. No, I'm just over
Yeah,
it.
so he had to build up the foreplay and crazy. Yeah. He probably read She Comes First.
I don't really know, but
it's just like a pussy eating like technique.
It was a very specific orgasm he was after.
Oh, okay.
Which is why that took so long. But it's kind of like, okay, I'll give you an example. I had this huge chocolate cake at Claim Jumper, and it's so huge there. It's like ridiculous. And I love chocolate.
I know where you're going with this.
Okay, and I love chocolate so much. I feel like I get high from, I feel all the sensations, and I love that. Just like with sex, like I feel all the sensation. I love it. I'm so in tune with how it's making me. Yeah. But there's a certain point where you're eating that chocolate cake and it's like, I think I've had enough chocolate. Like it's just kind of more chocolate and more chocolate and then more chocolate.
Yeah.
Like it's enough of a good thing. Can we maybe save it for another time?
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that maybe you're saying this from an entitled position?
What do you mean entitled?
Well, not in a bad way. Like I just mean like you were born fucking attractive, right? So you've had an abundance of sex in your life. You just had access to it. So, and from your,
I see.
when I meant when I said
I
entitled,
can
I just
literally
meant
have
like,
sex whenever the fuck I want to.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you value it a little bit less,
Maybe.
in that sense.
I guess I didn't think about it like that before, but
But you can't write it off as not an important aspect of life. Right, if it's done correctly. If it's like,
I guess I
understand-
can see your point where it's basically something that I can get whenever I want, however I want, whatever, and so
that's
it's
a
just not
rare
very
occurrence
valuable.
of a human. So like,
Okay.
so from your like when you talk about like sex like that, some people might be like, this fucking girl.
Really?
Like,
Oh, I never thought about
you
that.
got to look at it from all perspectives.
That's
because
really interesting.
Well, first of all, let's put something into perspective real quick. 33% of men haven't had sex in the last 2 years because social media. It was 10% before the invention of Facebook. Facebook exists. Now it's 33% of men have not had sex in the last 2 years.
Wow.
And the only men that you experience are going to be competent, high value, sure of themselves, right? Maybe arrogant, maybe narcissistic because they figured it out for themselves. But they are the exception. They're a small percentage, and that percentage is getting smaller and smaller and smaller of men.
I read that there's like a small pool of men that us women
They're
all
just sharing.
sleep with.
You're just all
it's like
sharing them.
only 10% of the population
And so
we sleep with.
that dude, he's drained. First of all, second of all, he can't feel like special about you, right? And so that's where I come in, if you will. Helping the guy that would actually treat a woman right and actually, be there for her and whatnot, be an actual great lover in bed. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a need for it because these dudes that are oversexed, they don't give a fuck. Like, they're narcissistic, their egos are inflated, right? And from that place,
Or they're just in touch with their divine masculinity and they're really good men and we're attracted to good men.
I agree with that
The
too.
narcissists
I agree with that,
pretend
but-
to be good men. We don't want narcissists.
I hear you.
We don't.
I'm just saying
They hide the fact that they're narcissists.
You will experience the narcissist because they're getting laid. That's
We
what I'm saying.
experience the narcissist because they love bomb, and love bombing is basically like it turns us on. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
it just happens.
No, I feel you. Damn, overheat or what?
I think my live is ending.
Yeah. I mean, it was a minute. It was a minute on the live. So yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah, they're really good at love bombing, and that's what sucks us in.
And then you were saying then some of them are divine masculine.
Well, there's some other men that are getting laid that that we all want that perfect guy that's like in touch with their divine masculinity, that's high consciousness, that's competent, that is successful, that is a provider, protector. We all want that.
Yes.
So the narcissists have learned to pretend to be that.
him.
Pretend. Because a real good divine masculine guy is not a narcissist.
Yeah, psychopaths just imitate.
They pretend. Yeah, they're the best mirrors you can imagine.
Yeah.
Like they know what a woman wants, and then they emulate it. They know this dream man because we explained it to them, and then they emulate it.
Yeah.
But the kicker is the love bombing. The love bombing. That's what wins us over, because we have, especially if you're an attractive woman, you have a ton of men after you, and you don't know who to choose. So who stands out is the guy that
shows
putting
desire.
more effort.
Desire.
They put in more effort. They put in more time. They put in more investment, and then they're acting like they like you more. They're saying they like you more. They say they love you. Whatever.
Yep.
They're love bombing. And so that's what that's why the narcissist can win the girl over, but it doesn't mean it's permanent. It's maybe just temporary.
For sure. Yeah.
But the ones that are an actual good guy, like divine masculine man, like they can keep a partner no problem.
No, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, women have a irresistibility fantasy, which basically means that they want to be like desired to that level where a guy would risk his life because he wants her that much. Yeah. And that's why they have other fantasies of like
special.
Yeah, special
for sure. At the end of the day, we just want to feel special, and a narcissist is really good at that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like a really good guy could learn how to do that.
Yep.
That's ideal.
That's ideal. Yeah. And a lot of these guys are just getting hurt these days, and then they're easy prey for ideologies such as like the red pill ideology, or MGTOW, which would be another one. It's called men going their own way, which is basically they just blame women. They're hurt by women. It's feminism ruined girls. All girls they're hopeless. You don't need women anymore. Just focus on yourself, bro. Hit the gym, right? That's like the mindset. And I'm saying this is actually happening. There is a huge incel army forming, and they're about to be marching the streets and tearing shit the fuck apart.
That's so sad.
I'm not joking. And and maybe from like where you haven't been able to see it because it's not in your reality. It's not in your experience. So then here it is. The universe is giving you the awareness of it. And from here, I mean, who knows what you do with that awareness.
Okay, listen, all you He-Man woman haters. I will heal you and help you get laid and help you get love.
How you gonna do this?
Well, I'll help them understand where their trauma is coming from.
Boom.
Maybe do some inner child work, some shadow work. Help them understand, why they're focused on hating the feminine so much, and help them understand that it's actually an aspect of themselves that they dislike.
Boom.
It's part of themselves. They're judging their inner feminine. We all have it.
Yep,
we all
100%.
have inner masculine and inner feminine, and they're judging it, and there's an imbalance.
Yeah.
And that imbalance is causing an issue. Most likely, they're actually a little too feminine. They're feminine.
They're reactive to the world.
They're feminine. They're too feminine. Because a feminine man is a guy that thinks that a girl has to pay for the date or something, or 50-50. They're feminine. That's a feminine bitch. And because they're...
There's a little bit of trauma in that.
Because they're feminine... No, I'm just passionate. And because they're feminine, they're going to then therefore judge the feminine because they're being feminine. And it's a mind fuck that they need to see themselves, and they're not going to be able to see it without a lot of deep inner work.
Well, some of the red pill guys, they're all like, no, like, yeah, I pay, I only pay. So they are about that. The main thing with them is just like I said before, like if her body count's too high, like she's done, like she doesn't even like exist like on my radar. Like her value is
it's
like
a little
less.
Harsh.
You would never know what a girl's body count is anyways. She'll never fucking tell you in the society.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh.
So
and I feel like maybe it's coming from a place that wasn't too bad initially, because having a high body count isn't good for a woman. It's not good for us in a spiritual sense, and it definitely causes a lot of issues and trauma, unnecessary trauma. So I feel like I know the root maybe of where that came from, but then now it's kind of being weaponized. I don't appreciate that weaponization.
This actually might be a good time for you to talk about any programs that you might have, or
sure.
Stuff. If you're
like I said,
right
I've
now.
been on a hiatus for a while, but I still have my how to basically reconnect with your partner and how to fix a relationship. And I have that in the link in my
Instead
bio
of starting
on
over.
Instagram, and you can message me for the course. And then I also do one-on-one coaching. My one-on-one coaching is it's really unique. What my clients love about it is that I have such a diverse background, and I've done so much that they can basically ask me help for anything. They come to me with issues with relationships, but they get so much other value.
Life coaching, yeah.
Yeah, like one I helped with, because I used to be a recruiter, and I helped her basically negotiate to get higher wages because I knew the game, and I helped another one, get into the business world of like entrepreneurship and
Like coaching online and stuff.
Yeah, and they used to be an employee and all this stuff. You're
just a consultant.
Well, I mean, I do. This my niche is love, but I have so much more to offer than that.
For sure.
If someone's struggling in a certain area and I have expertise in it, I'm going to help them with it.
Well, everything's love.
Yeah. Well, everything is love for sure.
Everything encompasses love.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Yeah. But my one-on-one coaching is the best because, I can really get to root issues and really help heal somebody. And I don't heal them. They heal themselves. I just
lead them or
yeah,
show them where the water is to drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
I help them understand what's going on, and I lead them to how to correct it, fix it, heal it.
Yeah. That's what a doctor does too. They never really heal you.
A good doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, there's too many bad
Hey, that's the
doctors.
same thing with orgasms too.
No way.
They're going to make themselves come. You're just facilitating the comfortable environment, the right circumstances.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no,
We have
for
dildos,
sure.
you know, so we don't need a guy for.
Yeah, but a dildo can't choke you and look you in the eye tantrically and say
there
"I
are
love
some-
you" while you come.
I guess there are some girls.
A dildo can't kiss your forehead and give you aftercare.
None of that matters if they're a guy that's just trying to get laid anyway, though. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
but
not real.
it sounds like you've experienced a lot of that.
A lot of what?
Men just trying to get laid and the empty stuff. And so
No, I actually haven't. I've been focused on men that want to be in a relationship. The issue I've ran into is that because men know I'm the relationship type,
they manipulate that.
they pretend
So
that
that's
they're
what
the
I'm saying.
relationship
But that's
type.
what I'm saying.
However, then they'll fall in love. But the problem,
They'll fall in love.
they will. But the problem with a guy that's not ready for a relationship that falls in love is that they're going to do everything they can subconsciously to sabotage the relationship.
Oh, for
because
sure.
they weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
So that's how I get hurt.
They're avoiding
lot.
more trauma by creating the trauma early.
Yeah, and they don't realize they're doing it. They're not consciously aware of what they're doing. And we've all done the self-sabotage stuff in one way or another because we think we're not good enough or something.
Yeah.
So that's
We all got programs running in our matrix background.
So that's been the main thing that I run into is that men are master manipulators and they know the kind of guy I'm looking for and they'll pretend to be that to get me. But by the time they actually get me, because I'm not going to just have sex with anybody, and especially not right away. So they have to basically put in the work and they have to invest more than what they're typically used to. And usually a man, because I know that's how men work, when they invest in something, they care for it more.
Of course.
And
well, that's human. That's human nature, right?
Yeah.
Like even in sales, like get them to invest by qualifying them and whatnot. Like,
yeah, and it's not like it's not a manipulation tactic on my behalf.
It's influence.
More of a no. I look at it as more of a who's really interested in me. For me, everybody I feel like
It's
that
screening.
makes me wants to fuck me. So what? Who really wants me? And
yeah, my ex, or I guess you could call her my ex, but the girl that I was talking about before, sometimes she would cry and she'd be like, everybody just wants me for my looks. And she was like, you're the only one that actually cares about me or wants to see me grow or wants to know more like about me deeper. She's like, I don't think I could love anybody else. Da, 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 da. And I'm
that's
like,
probably how she fell in love with you because you.
Well, I didn't show her that in the beginning. She had orgasms with me the second time we had sex.
Well, then there's
So-
the spiritual bond,
Yeah.
and the oxytocin. So
We chose each other in the past
she
life.
got all oxytocin out, and that'll do it. That's why I recommend for women to try to not sleep with men unless you're married, but that's really hard, especially nowadays because men are very persistent and kind of pressure you, so it's really hard. But it is much better for us, and you and me are not going to align on this because you're a young guy.
Well, I'm not over here trying to tell women they should just fuck like as much as they possibly can, like rack up the numbers, women. Like that's not what I'm saying at all, ever.
Yeah.
Never once said that. It's more like look for the good stuff and the real stuff. And generally speaking, like it's going to be rare, and I'm trying to make it less rare. Like that's what I'm trying to do, make it less rare for girls out there, right? But also for men that are just not having the sex life that they desire, and or the love life, which by the way coincide.
Yeah.
So yeah, on both sides of the table, it is what it is. And by the way, I would say that I do agree with marriage in the sense that I do like it, like, two people like growing together and stuff like that. I'm just, for me, like getting involved with the government is weird. But if I ever got a girl pregnant, that's my kid. I'm gonna take care of she's good. And also, even the girls I haven't got pregnant that I'm in love with, that I still have love for, they're still fucking good. Like I'm bringing them to the top with me. So like,
men say a lot of things though at the end of the
I don't know,
day.
actions prove it. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like-
that's the key. Because I've been pretty screwed over in that way.
I've never abandoned
And
a girl
he would
like that
say-
though.
He would say the same thing.
Well, I haven't done it yet, so maybe I'm still young.
You are.
You think I'm narcissistic like that?
I never said you're narcissistic.
Okay, but do you see tendencies or something?
No, I what I know and what I can see is that you have an avoidance for commitment, and there's nothing wrong with that at your age. But for women need commitment. We do. we need it.
You mean commitment to monogamy? Is that what you mean?
We need commitment to us, whatever that may be. We need a commitment, because once we give ourselves so much to somebody, we have to have that commitment so that we know we're not giving our most valuable asset to that person and have it go to waste.
Well, in what way would I not be committing?
Well,
this is a coaching session for me. I love it. Let's go.
You said that you're against marriage, and I'm not pushing marriage.
It's not because I'm against marriage. It's more just like I'm against the government. Like, it's
so
just
you have to find a different way to prove your commitment, and it's really hard. Well, I mean, okay, here's a good example. If someone were to tell me, I really want to marry you, but I have a big thing against the government, what do you suggest? Well, you have to really show me some serious commitment. So what's more committed than maybe investing in my business, or running my business, or buying me a house, or something like that, to make sure that I'm good. Because
I feel you.
If you take 10 years of my life and you say, okay, I'm done, those 10 years are gone. And 10 years is a very long time for a woman, because again, 100%. We only have that 15 years.
Yeah.
And if you take 10 of it, boy, that is going to be the biggest lesson in that woman's life. She's never going to have a bigger lesson than that. That'll be her biggest regret until she dies.
Yeah.
And she's not going to know it until after you're gone. So in the moment, it seems fine. Everything seems fine. Oh, we have a great love. That's wonderful. La, la, la. And everything's happy and great. But when you're gone, she'll hate you. So, I mean, if you're a narcissist, you won't care. But if you're not a narcissist, you should care. You should care, because you should have empathy for what women have to experience in this lifetime.
Oh, for sure.
So if you're not going to marry her, then you need to marry her in a different way. You need to show your marriage commitment in her business, in her career.
Living together, like...
Paying all the bills so she can build.
Yeah.
She has to build something. So if worst case scenario, she cannot have babies by the time you're done with her. Like, let's say 10 years.
Okay, so this is actually one thing that Red Pill disagrees with you on. That women, they think women are not supposed to build anything because of the lack of testosterone, and basically just build the family and nurture. But then they need
to get married, because then there's something that the woman can fall back on if it doesn't work out.
One
way or another, you have to give her something so that she feels like not all is wasted. So if you helped her invest in her business, she won't hate you for the rest of her life. She'll have something to fall back on. Maybe she can adopt a child with the money that she made from this business. Maybe she can pay for a surrogate. Maybe something this or that or whatever. But at the end of the day, you didn't completely waste her life. That's the key.
Yeah. So when I look at society, I kind of look at it like it's anti-women, to be honest.
Yeah.
Everything is set up to screw women over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a patriarchy, right? So that kind of is what it is. And I don't know if you know about like the ages. Like, we're supposedly moving into the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, we are in it now.
And like the water bearer, like, it's a feminine age. So this is why I feel like women are going back into power. Let's look at like the power women have for a second, because you could pick up your phone and then you have access to like the top 1% of men almost immediately. That's one thing women have right now. They also, the feminist movement is one thing. And then also marriage, right? A guy will literally have to pay alimony and child support rest of his life if he fucks up in marriage. So there is...
So then be a good fucking guy. We'll stay with a good husband. If we have a good husband that treats us so good and provides and protects, we're never going to let him go. We're never going to let him go.
Yeah, girls are very monogamous
let's say,
in that sense.
Let's say you have a billionaire husband, for example. That's an extreme, like, just one topic is an extreme.
Yeah.
If he's not a billionaire, then he needs to be treating us really, really good. But let's just say he's just a billionaire.
I love that.
Okay?
If you're not a billionaire, you better be fucking...
You better be treating, otherwise we're like, what's the point of having you around? Like, who cares? We don't want you. But let's just pretend he's a billionaire, okay? And we catch him cheating. We might kind of be like, ooh, pretend I didn't see that, because we're being taken care of really well.
Yeah. Do you need? I saw that meme. Do you need condoms or I'm
That's
sorry.
an exaggeration.
I know, but it's funny.
Pretend maybe we didn't see it or something. And that's because we're being taken care of. You see? So if we're being taken care of, and being financially taken care of is just one aspect of it. But if we're being taken care of in every way, we're not going to leave you. We're not. So for the men that are worried about an 80% chance that the woman is the one doing the divorce, it's because those 80% of the guys were a piece of shit and we thought we were better without them. So if you add to a woman's life and it's better with you, she's never going to leave you. Ever. I guarantee it.
Yeah, so
she won't.
This is what they actually talk about on Fresh and Fit too. They'll say, well, that woman, she lost all those years of her life. She should probably let the cheating slide on the man's part because sex is different for men and women, right? So like instead of starting over at 35 because ego, right? Because she might deserve better, but it's just a better option to stay with him. And
it depends on how he's treating us and how it makes us feel that he cheated. You know, again, I give an example, very extreme example of financial taking care of. But if a man is taking really good care of us emotionally, spiritually, in every way, and he cheats, we're going to be so broken. Like, why? Let's say he's a billionaire, for example. Most cases of billionaires is they're really busy. So we can't really connect with them as well. It's harder to connect with them.
For sure.
So we don't feel maybe as much love. So if they're cheating, it's like, we might be able to let that slide. But if it's someone that we're really in love with and they're promising that we're the only ones and they love us so much and then we catch them cheating, it's going to fuck us up. So there's differences. Like all these men think that they're billionaires and they can get away with cheating. No. If you're a billionaire, you really can't get away with cheating. Sorry, guys. You just can't. You can't. Unless it's a polyamorous relationship and there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's different.
They set the foundations in the beginning.
Everybody's different.
Nobody lied type shit. It's really the betrayal. It's the lie. It's the lack of trust, the breaking of trust.
Yeah.
That really does the pain. And then also, I mean, obviously, yes, if you love somebody a lot, you want the best for them. Yeah. And if this other soulmate of theirs was the best for them, you would want that for them because it's actually helping their life, right? So when I love a girl, I literally want her to have all the experiences that she needs. If I'm all she needs, then perfect. Like, that's awesome. But in my mind, like, I'm just not so attached to the physical. I feel like I'm already like ascended, like into the fifth dimension, if you will. Like, that's just me. That's just how I feel. I'm not very attached to a lot of the things here in the physical. I feel like I just came here for my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I came here to do what I'm supposed to do. And then other than that, like, I'm good. Like, as long as I got my purpose, like, I'm good.
That's what's up.
That's just how I feel. But I'm not saying every guy needs to be like that. You know, you don't have to. I meditated for like 10 years. So
that's amazing.
So, you know, I'm not saying every guy should go out and meditate for 10 years.
Did you ever get the light at the end of the tunnel thing? I got that twice. It's amazing.
Like what? When you're just so deep and then you see some light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah. So a lot of people only experience that when they're about to die.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice, mostly just because I was in such an amazing nirvana state.
DMT will do that probably because
I
DMT
wasn't high on anything.
Well, no, because when you meditate to that level, you'll get released DMT. Because DMT comes in when you sleep or when you die, right before you die.
Oh, so you're saying it's the DMT, the natural DMT?
Yeah,
not the
you
drug
induced
DMT.
it by your deep state of theta,
Gotcha.
your theta state or whatever.
So you think that the DMT is what causes the light at the end of the
Yeah,
tunnel?
for sure. For sure. There was a thing called like Trick by the Light, and it was this whole conspiracy of like this guy, he's like, the Illuminati, they're like, they trick you into getting reincarnated on Earth again. Don't go towards the light. It's a trick. Like,
I heard that stupid stuff.
and they're like, instead go out and they'll go the opposite direction into the universe, into the darkness.
It means you let go. It's a good sign.
What the
light at the end of the
it's like
tunnel.
pulling you in, or
It's a good sign.
It's an alien.
No, it just
pulling
means
up.
you let go. I've seen it twice, and because I was just in such a good nirvana state. That's all.
I have not seen the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's amazing.
In a meditation state. I have gone pretty deep though,
Both
where
times,
I didn't feel my body.
Both times I was meditating while getting acupuncture.
Okay.
When I saw it, but other than that, like no drugs or anything. It's amazing though.
Have you ever done drugs or anything like that? Have you ever done psychedelics or anything?
No. Well, I've done mushrooms once.
How'd that go?
It was fun. Yeah, it was good.
Did you feel like, new epiphanies, or were you already on that
It was
level?
stuff that I kind of already knew, and
Yeah.
it just like further, reinstated.
This is turning into a Joe Rogan podcast now. Here we go, like ayahuasca. Nah.
I haven't done ayahuasca yet, and the reason I haven't
would,
is
though.
mostly because like the poison aspect of it. That part is hard for me to get behind. But
Because it's supposed to make you throw up, so that it can go
it's very
deeper.
Poisonous.
Yeah,
Which is
well,
why
it makes you
hallucinate
shit
so
too.
much. Yeah. So that part's like, ugh.
Yeah, that kind of fucking freaks me out. I haven't done it either. But when I did shrooms like the last time, I didn't feel anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I must not have done enough.
No, it was like a more than an eighth.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Maybe it wasn't magic enough.
Maybe. Who knows?
I definitely had the psychedelic kind. I was tripping.
I had a bad trip on shrooms when I was 16.
Oh.
Gnarly bad.
Yeah, I don't think a 16-year-old's ready for all that.
And I didn't know who I was.
Yeah,
at 16
that's
at all.
that's not a good age to be doing that kind of stuff. Like I don't recommend. 1 out of 10 don't recommend.
I was still a virgin. I was just out in the world, didn't know who I was.
Yes, I mean it takes time to learn. It takes a lot of time to learn. Like the older you get, the more you learn and the more experiences you have. And at this point in my life, I feel like I'm a better coach than I've ever been because of everything I've experienced.
No, for sure.
I think experience.
So now this is the next level now, because the baby
definitely
and
next level.
the trauma healing.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is supposedly in March, 5 planets are changing signs. So I have spiritual friends who close down all their shops, and they are preparing for all conspiracies to become true.
Well, this
March.
is the year. Yeah.
And I was told by other astrologists in 2021, 2023 is the year. 2023 is the year. 2023 is the year. It's all popping off in March.
Yeah, because all the fake alien invasion with Project Bluebeam and everything. It's all
and then the WW3, right? So all of that though is it's literally just on a projector screen. It's not like real.
Yeah,
it's
Project
not actually
Bluebeam,
real. Yeah, no, I didn't. No, I meant like even the World War III and stuff. This is all playing out on the news. It's a whole entire play.
Yeah.
Basically, to get your consciousness focused on it. Damn, we went through fucking 2 batteries. Yeah, to get your consciousness focused on the everything but your own manifestations and your own purpose. Because actually right now the energies are the highest right now. We had KP6 or something, like energy hitting Earth from the sun right now. So we have manifestation energies at our disposal. So the game has been flipped and there's no more elite anymore. It's free for all, and they don't want people knowing. So they're throwing everything they can as a distraction away from the fact that there is no more fucking rulers.
Wow.
That's the truth. There's no more rulers. Because
that's wild.
AI, like what the fuck is gonna happen? Nobody knows.
Yeah, this is a big question mark. Yeah, this year started off really crazy because of AI, and we don't know what's gonna happen.
It's gonna be and I think that's a good place to end it.
I agree.
Because just like a cliffhanger, like what's gonna happen? It's actually real life though.
Yeah.
No, that was fire.
Awesome.
Fire podcast. So any guys watching this who want to become better lovers in bed, go on over to lieverbetterandwetter.com, and it's all there, right? Like if you want to connect on that level with a female and actually love her, you have great intentions, you have to fulfill her on every single level, like she was saying, right? In all aspects, right? Mm-hmm. You do have to have your finances in line. That's one of the things as well. Like you might not be ready to actually dive deep, and you got to think like, if you get her pregnant, are you screwing her over? Well, why would you want to do that to somebody that you love? So in the background though, so you might not be having sex. Like they might not be having sex. So one thing that you can do is you can take sex courses. Mm-hmm. You can get the knowledge and the awareness of what to do when you do come across this female who you do have perfect chemistry with and you are ready to fulfill her on every level that she desires, right? But if you don't have the knowledge and awareness to make that happen, well, it's going to slip through your fingers and it just didn't work out for you. Sorry, buddy. Like it's, game over. So with that being said, go over to lieverbetterwetter.com and learn these things. And
I think he knows what he's talking about. He's talking about giving women like 10 to 15 orgasms. I think he knows what he's talking about.
Tantric orgasms.
It's amazing.
With love.
Woo!
It's got to be love in it.
Get it.
Or it's just empty.
Good for you. That's what's up.
And that is it, guys. So we'll see you in the next one. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
So fire.